Now, let's talk about this. Was a crazy story here, and I can't even believe that it happened. But it says over $1.4 million of Nintendo Switch 2s were stolen from the back of a truck. Over $1.4 million. They say nearly 3,000 Switch 2 consoles have been reported stolen from a truck transporting stock between Nintendo America headquarters and a Texas GameStop store. Police investigating the Nintendo Switch 2 theft discovered while the driver was en route in Colorado said that the volume of his consoles lost an amount of $1.4 million. Tracking down the culprit or corporates may not prove easy, however, as investigators say, they are currently unsure exactly where the theft took place along the driver's 1,332-mile journey. Was this planned? Was this a planned operation with the truck tracked from Nintendo headquarters in Redmond, Washington, as targeted specifically, or was it a random theft? Police say multiple pallets of the Nintendo 2 Switch stock was shifted from the truck's trailer, suggesting that at least some level of organization. So, almost 3,000. I think the last time I checked, it was like 2,810 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles were stolen. And each console was sold for $4.99. So that sucks for Nintendo. That sucks for us because people who pre-ordered that stuff and they were hoping that their console would come to the store, Nintendo has to work harder to send out the shipment if they already haven't done it already. So that completely sucks. That's a crazy story. They haven't caught the guys yet because this was released last week, a couple of weeks ago. They did leave a number. If you see these people, if you see anything funny, call the number, let them know what's going on. Maybe you can catch these people. Don't be surprised when you start seeing an influx of Nintendo Switch 2s being sold on eBay and Amazon and Facebook Marketplace or Mercari or any of these other spots. When you see these Nintendo Switch 2s in the brand new box. And that sucks for Nintendo, and I hope that something like that doesn't happen again. I jump on Nintendo for the dumb shit that they do, but I don't wish for any companies to go through bullshit like this, especially something that had nothing to do with them. It was just two idiots who decided that they was gonna rob a truck. The same way that it was these two idiots that, claimed that they were selling a PS5 on the Facebook Marketplace and held up 5 people for their money. People are just stupid. So I just hope that they get this situation sorted out. One more Nintendo story here. Remember when I told y'all about Nintendo's user policy, their piracy policy, that they were cracking down on people? It seems as though they are banning people for using the MIG flashcards. If you don't know what the MIG flashcards are, they are like a backup SD card slot that you can use for the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. They're banning people, perma-banning people for backing up games that they own on those cards. It says here, in the case of Switch Tools, who found their Nintendo Switch 2 console banned after using an MIG card to play their own backed up games. They confirmed this by posting a picture of a stack of games with a handwritten note, and several Reddit users have also had the same experience, again confirming that they own the games and they were attempting to play. This is a message from Switch Tools. It says, just wanted to let everyone know to refrain from using the MIG flashcards on the Switch 2 online for now. My Switch 2 was just banned. My account is fine for now. Only games I had in my backups were the ones I attempted to play and were banned. Pretty dumb of me to go online with it, but that's just me. So And then he did an update. He said my Nintendo Switch 2 was banned, but my main Nintendo account is not banned. But I wouldn't hold my breath, just waiting for the point for Nintendo to drop the ban hammer on my account. So if you use any third-party stuff for the Nintendo Switch, I implore people not to. Just buy Nintendo stuff. I know it's a pain in the ass, to have to buy their specific things, but to keep things like this from happening, just stick with their official stuff. And I just want to add on something here for the people who are listening to this. With this whole permaban stuff and Nintendo breaking consoles, I'm telling people, you do whatever you want with your money, but I'm making a suggestion. If you're going to buy a Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch, do not buy it used. Do not go on eBay. Do not go on Amazon or any of these other things and buy any consoles from anybody. I'm saying this because do not be surprised. People are very dishonest these days. Do not be surprised when you see somebody selling something, it's brand new in the box, barely used. It's probably a console that's bricked, that does not work. And don't think for 1 second that they won't sell that shit to somebody online, take the money and go buy a new Switch. So I'm telling people, I'm just giving you all that warning. With this policy in place, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure that that thing works the way that it's supposed to. If you're the type of person that's going to buy something used because you can't afford to buy a brand new, look, I don't judge people. I'm just telling you what the deal is. So just be extra careful, because the last thing you want to do is spend $500, $600 for a Switch 2. You're excited, or your child is excited, and they get a console that's no better than a doorstop. They can't use it. So there's your warning there. I'm just letting y'all know.